Good evening. My name is Laura Frederick, and this is my final internship video. The first question asks, how was your relationship with your internship supervisor, and how did you build that relationship? Me and my internship supervisor relationship actually progressed over the time that I have been at my internship. In the beginning, it was a bit rocky. We had a lot of disagreements, especially when doing the evaluation on how I was doing. I think it was a lot of lack of communication on both our parts, where I had just relocated from Miami to Lincoln, Nebraska to do my internship. So it was hard for me to just get back into being in a whole new environment. And I felt when I started there, I didn't feel as welcome by her as I thought it probably would have been, or maybe I was just under the misconception as she was just going to be bubbly and fun. In the beginning, that's how it was. It was a lot of also lack of communication on what I needed to learn and what I wanted to learn and what she was actually teaching me or what I was observing from her. So after we completed the midterm evaluation, we was able to get some clarity on what was the issues or what was the problem, why we weren't be able to have a lot of reports. So it was more so of me just observing and watching her than me being hands-on. And after I brought that to her attention, that I felt like I wasn't doing much, there was a big turnaround in our relationship. We was able to plan together and get a lot of things done together as well. So I really appreciate that, and the fact that once we were able to talk about it and get over the side differences, we were able to get clarity on what I wanted to learn and what she knew to teach me. So yeah, that's how our relationship built over the time that we was here. We just kept an open door relationship, where anything that I felt, I was able to talk to her about, and anything that she felt, she was able to bring to my attention if she wanted me to try better. And I also went to her and said, what is it exactly that you want me to do? How can I better myself? How could I reach my full potential being at this internship? And it was a great conversation where we got some clarity and validation on how both of us was feeling. The second question asks, now that you have completed Internship 1 and Internship 2, identify at least one challenge or obstacle you had to endure. How would you handle the situation differently, and what advice would you give incoming students so that they do not encounter the same issues? Well, my big thing was moving here. I wanted to be able, of course, to work so I can pay my bills. I wanted to be able to do my internship and focus on that. And I think that was something that kind of bumped heads a lot. Me being able to work full time at my internship and have a job to support myself. My advice to incoming students would be to plan ahead. Figure out if you're going to be able to work on weekends, or find a set schedule that is going to be able to work around your internship. At the end of the day, our internship should be the most important thing, and that was something that I had to come to realization. Not only saying that I didn't know it was the most important thing, I was so worried about having to work all the time. And I had to put my job on a back burner. I had to leave a few jobs because I was so dedicated in making sure that my career was first, my school came first. So being able to dedicate that time to doing your internship before you get into it, before you look for an internship site, I think the best thing would be to make sure your schedule is clear so you can focus exactly on your internship, focus only on school, and to get it done. And once you finish with that, that's when all the job opportunities will open. So we have more than enough time to find different jobs. But school and the opportunity to get our degree at the time that we want it, that's a one life chance. So if you fail your internship, or you're not able to get it done, or you lose focus on it, that's only going to deter you to be in school longer, or to make the whole internship process go longer. What was the format for documentation process at your facility? We use an online database network called Credible, which has all of the client's individual profiles, which includes their diagnosis, their progress notes, evaluations, and assessments that are done by the rec therapy department, nursing department, and the therapist as well. The rec therapy department does documentation by first completing the client's initial assessment, just to get a leisure inventory on what the client interests are and what resources that they're aware of in the community. Once we complete the client assessment, we would evaluate to see what programs would best be beneficial to the client in order to increase their leisure lifestyle. After that, we would go ahead and we would observe and document all the progress that the client does while in treatment. We would see how the client emotional, cognitive, and social behaviors while participating in group sessions. We would document how the client mood is during those sessions, as well as any challenges the client may have had while participating in those different sessions. We would also include client feedback. The clients do processing, which is a session where the clients would give one benefit, a risk, and a coping skill to going on any of the outings or any of the events that we do. And then the clients are able, when they return from the outing, to state if they had any risk or if they had to use any coping skills to deal with while on the outings. So being able to use all those documentation and making them into progress notes, that's how we do documentation for the clients while they're in treatment. The next question asks, have you completed any discharge summaries, and if so, could you give an example of when you did? No, I have not completed a discharge summary yet. We have a holistic approach to treatment where all of the clinical staff work together in order to treat the client. So the rec therapy department doesn't necessarily complete any of the discharge summaries for the clients. The client's discharge summary are completed by their specific therapist. And the therapist includes all the progress notes that are placed by the rec therapy department, as well as any goals that were met based on all the information that we provided in our progress notes and during the sessions that we have with the clients. That is used in order for the client's counselor to do the discharge summary. What has been some of the challenges that you have faced at your internship site versus some of the accomplishments that you have gained? My challenge would have been, aside from trying to build my relationship with my internship supervisor in the beginning, but also having to gain that respect from the clients. Being that I do work in a adult residential mental health and substance abuse dual diagnosis treatment center, some of the clients sometimes had really bad attitudes. Some of them were not really willing to participate in the groups. They were not willing to listen to me, and I don't know at first if it's because I was an intern at the time. They felt like it wasn't a real job. I don't know what it was, but it was really hard for me to be able to, I guess, get the clients to actually respect me as the professional that I was aspiring to be, or respecting me and understanding that, yes, it's an internship, but this is a job to me because I put it before a lot of things. So while my internship supervisor was gone from a family emergency for a week and a half, I was the acting rec therapist at the time, and being that she's the only member of the rec therapy department, and she wasn't there, I was able to run all the groups alone, and be able to not only show to my internship supervisor, but to the clients, to the program director, to the clinical staff, and all the technician staff that I am capable of running the rec therapy department without her being there, and I'm capable of being able to catch all the clients' attention and make sure that they're respecting me when they need to. So that was another thing, that a challenge that I felt like I accomplished, because after I finished that week and a half with them, I felt like a lot of people respected me more. A lot of people understood my purpose of being there. A lot of people appreciated me more, that even though Nicole was done, I was continuing to do rec therapy activities and still taking them on outings and still allowing them to enjoy having that service. What has been your experience with a patient that does not want to cooperate? As I previously stated, when I first began, it seemed like the client would give me a bit of a hard time when trying to complete the groups. One client basically would ignore my cues when I would try to redirect him to focusing on the activity that we were doing. He was just always trying to do his own thing. And I actually had to talk to all the clients, because it came to a point in time where I just felt like I was blatantly being disrespected while I was facilitating groups. And I explained to them that although this is an internship, I feel like I should receive the same respect as a program director and as if my internship supervisor was there. They were very receptive of what I had to say. And I did let them know that I was not trying to single anyone out. I just wanted to have some clarity on where I stood as facilitating them and how their behaviors were really inappropriate at the time when I was trying to facilitate groups. Ever since I brought that up to their attention, everything has been great. They have been all cooperating and participating in the groups that I'm facilitating. They're always giving good feedback. So that was another real accomplishment that I felt like I accomplished, being able to step up to the clients and verbalizing how I felt and getting some validation on how I was being treated by the clients. What has been most challenging situation you encountered during your internship? I think the most challenging situation is when you have to take away the client's walks or visitations for them doing something wrong in treatment, like going against one of the rules. And one of the major rules that clients are always violating is smoking. So you can't smell like smoke and you can't be caught smoking. So a lot of the clients are upset when their walks get taken away. And at one time I had to take a client's walkway because I found a lighter in her bag. So that's also prohibited. And she was really upset at me. She really caught an attitude. She was cursing and it seemed like she was going to try to attack me. And I had to explain to her that these are the rules. I had to enforce the rules, and I had to explain to her that I understand and I validated her feelings because she had the right to feel how she felt. But I just had to explain to her that it was not me personally attacking her or me personally trying to make her feel inferior to me, being that I don't work there and that I'm just an intern. But I had to explain to her that this is, to me, a job. So I had to just do my job as if I was any of the other staff who were working in the facility as well.